Hello, I'm John Eagles. I used to work as a psychiatrist, and since retirement, I've become involved in the Temple V program. This webinar tries to identify some of the difficulties in losing weight and then keeping off that lost weight. I shall start by explaining why I think it is important not to underestimate how hard things can be. Some lucky people seem to be able to eat whatever they like and remain stick thin on a diet of donuts and Mars bars. These folk are a minority, but an important group nonetheless, because they often make overweight people feel bad about themselves in comparison. These slim, eat what they like people make it look easy not to gain weight. For most of us, it is far from easy. When you appreciate the complexities of any task, you are more likely to succeed than if you underestimate it. When I was a teenager, several friends seemed to become good guitar players effortlessly. I tried and found it tough. My fingers were too big. I didn't have the dexterity or the coordination or a good musical ear. So I gave up. Only later did I learn how my friends had persevered into the long, lonely hours of the night. Had I known it was really hard, but possible, I too might have persevered. Because I would have been more patient with myself. Because I would have been nicer to myself. And then I might have dealt better with setbacks and not given up so easily. Losing weight and then not regaining it is bound to have setbacks. It will often be a rocky road. If you can understand this and are expecting this, then you will be nicer to yourself when you are not doing so well. You won't give up so easily, and you will adopt a more patient, long-term approach. I shall now move on to some of the specific difficulties. Storing excess energy in the form of fat was an advantage as man evolved over the last million years and more. There were spells when food would be in short supply, lean times if you like, and so if you had good reserves of adipose tissue, then you were more likely to survive and to flourish. As a woman, your babies were also more likely to do well, both in the womb and because you could feed them better after they were born. Also, if you became ill with an infection, for example, and could not eat well or forage for food, then you would survive by living off your fat reserves. A lot of what our ancestors ate was low-calorie fruit and berries. Interestingly, it is thought that having a sweet tooth helped to identify ripe berries and fruit, and that these were thus you were less likely to get gut problems or other illnesses. So having a sweet tooth carried an evolutionary advantage. Our ancestors used a lot of energy foraging for food, but once they had eaten, they conserved energy. They didn't exercise for fun. It was an evolutionary advantage to be content to sit and lie around without using scarce energy unnecessarily. So, we evolved to be as chubby and as inactive as possible. I shall now talk about some of the biological and genetic factors involved in weight control. When you want to investigate how much of an influence genetics plays in any condition or characteristic, then identical twins are the gold standard, because they both share the very same genetic makeup. Identical twins have been shown to have very similar adult weights and also to share a similar like or dislike for fatty foods. They are again similar in how full or hungry they feel after eating. Even when identical twins are brought up apart in different families, their adult weights are very similar to each other. Adoption studies are also interesting. The association is stronger between an adopted person's weight and their biological parents than it is with the parents who adopt them and bring them up. That said, there is a significant similarity between the weights of adopting parents and their adopted children. So, family environment is of definite importance too. Broadly speaking, about 50% of our adult weight is determined by our genes, meaning that 50% is beyond our control. That maybe sounds like a cup half empty statement, but the cup half full statement would be that the other 50% can be changed and is within our control. So, what about the social and environmental factors that influence people's weight? I shall start by mentioning the so-called obesity epidemic. Going by people's body mass indexes, about 2/3 of the population in Britain is now officially overweight, having a BMI of more than 25. Nearly 30% are classified as clinically obese, with a BMI of more than 30. Over the past 40 years or so, there has been a threefold increase in the UK's obesity rates. That cannot be due to evolution, because our genetics have not changed in such a short space of time. So, it must be down to changes in society. And what are these changes? Since the 1970s, there has been a big reduction in the use of fresh cooking ingredients. With the arrival of the microwave and developments in freezing food, ready-made meals are eaten much more often. These meals are often high in carbohydrates and in unhealthy fats. Only 1 in 4 of the UK population eats the advised 5 portions of fruit and vegetables in the average day. And what about the food industry? The manufacturers and the supermarkets have become very powerful, marketing high-calorie foods enticingly. The vast majority of supermarket promotions, the bog-offs, buy one, get one free, are for high-calorie, unhealthy foodstuffs and drinks. Nearly everyone now has a computer and or a mobile phone, and many people spend hours each day sitting, surfing the internet, playing video games, interacting with social media and so on. There are umpteen TV channels now to sit in front of, with many advertising these same unhealthy foods and drinks. So, we have become less active. A recent survey found that 1 in 4 adults in the UK now takes less than 30 minutes of physical activity in a week. And modern life has become more stressful. People with weight issues often eat in response to emotions. Stress, anxiety, depression, and these negative feelings are more common than they used to be in our fast-paced, competitive lives. So, to summarise, we really should not underestimate the scale of the task or the complexities involved in losing weight and then staying fit and slim. We are battling against evolution. About half of the contribution to a person's body weight is genetic, and we live in a society that suggests we should be slim, while many factors conspire against that in the ways that I have mentioned. The evidence suggests that if you want to get slim and stay slim, then how you deal with setbacks is crucial, and there will be setbacks. If you can understand just how difficult getting and staying slim can be, then this should help you to be more kind to yourself and more forgiving when you struggle. This internal mental support from yourself can be motivating and will make it easier for you to figure out constructively what will work